Today we go over exciting news for the character of Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars franchise. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, ever since the release of The Last Jedi, a lot of people were very upset on how Rian Johnson's vision came into play in The Last Jedi for the character of Luke. Now, looking at everything that we have been hearing about Luke Skywalker in Episode 9, sadly, he's not coming back to life. We do know that JJ Abrams confirmed this to Mark Hamill and said, "No, you're dead." However, looking at all of the future canon pieces, we do have some exciting news for the character of Luke Skywalker. However, I really wish that this would have actually been told on the big screen or something around those lines. Now, future canon pieces, which could range anywhere from novels to books to video games to comic books, you name it. Now, they will actually be unveiling new secrets of Luke in between the events of A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, as well as in between the events of Empire and Return of the Jedi. Also, new details of Jedi knowledge and lore that Luke learned and discovered after the events of Return of the Jedi that will connect to the sequel trilogy. So I don't know exactly what that means toward the end on whether or not that how, the Jedi lore stuff will connect to a specific character within the sequel trilogy or a place. I'm not sure. But maybe it has something to do with Supreme Leader Snoke. And the reason why I bring up Snoke is this. If you guys read up on the novelization of The Last Jedi, it goes over how both Snoke and Luke were essentially after the same thing, the truth of the Force and secret knowledge of the Force, right? Now, this is presumably how both Luke and Snoke crossed paths at one point in time. Now, in The Last Jedi, we do know that Luke knows of Snoke. He kept using his name Snoke, how he already turned Kylo Ren's heart, and that's how he turned him to the dark side of the Force. That's the biggest question of all, now, isn't it? Exactly how does Luke Skywalker know Snoke? And will we be learning more about this in the future? Now, it seems as so that we most likely will, since they will be exploring new Jedi lore and knowledge that Luke learned and discovered after the events of Return of the Jedi that will connect right to the sequel trilogy. So we are essentially going to be learning more about the character of Luke in between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, which is always great. I don't know about you guys though, but I feel like that this would be perfect for a live-action TV series. And it's funny, because when I bring this up sometimes, you guys will say, well, Mike, that was already done in the original trilogy. Sure, they already showed the life of Luke, from start to finish to becoming a Jedi. But what I really want to see is all of the Jedi knowledge and lore that Luke Skywalker got to essentially discover on his own, and also with the help of Lor San Tekka. Could you guys imagine a TV series where we followed a younger version of Luke, quite possibly being played, of course, by a different actor, and they could have a younger version of Lor San Tekka seeking out Jedi lore and protecting it from the remnants of the Empire seeking that lore. Now, to me, that would make a great live-action TV series. I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of Jedi stuff to be told, and I feel like that live-action show centered all around the Force, and specifically Luke Skywalker, after the original trilogy. To me, I think that's the show that Disney and Lucasfilm should embrace. But looking at all the future canon pieces, like I say, comics, books, novels, video games, we're going to be learning a whole lot more about Luke in between A New Hope and Empire and Return of the Jedi, and all after the events of Return of the Jedi leading up into the sequel trilogy. I'm honestly very excited as to what kind of Jedi lore Luke actually discovered and learned about, and what kind of knowledge he learned of. Maybe they're going to go over the Jedi texts even all the more so in the tree library on the planet ahch-to. It could very well be that that is how Luke Skywalker learned of the Force projection ability, because well before The Last Jedi came out, they were talking about the texts in some promos that they actually hold a lot of secret powers. So it's pretty much assumed that that is exactly how Luke Skywalker learned the Force projection technique, also known as the doppelganger technique. He also used that in the EU, by the way. But looking at episode 9 and all, you know, when it comes to Luke, we do know that he will be in the form of a Force ghost and or a flashback, most likely. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how JJ Abrams will be essentially bringing us a new form of Luke in the sequel trilogy. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.